Welcome to the Retirement Planning Show, your source for financial strategies to help you retire with confidence. Featuring Chip Coughlin of Retirement Income Analysts in Syracuse, New York. Chip is a registered representative, and securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, Ltd. Retirement Income Analysts and Stratus Wealth Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial. And now, here are your co-hosts, Matt Halloran and Chip Coughlin.
Hello and welcome to episode number 11, How to Be Financially Stable by the Time You Turn 30. Chip, how are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, Matt.
And I am too. Let's dive into this. So this was an article that you read, is that correct?
I was looking for an article that I could download and mail to my clients' children. And I came across this article. It was by Kristen Marguerite Dodge. And it was, again, how to be financially stable by the time you turn 30. And it has some great ideas. And these aren't earth-shattering, but it is something to remember.
All right. And
I think many times when you're in your 20s, it's easy to forget that planning for a solid future should be one of the things at the top of the list. But of course, when you're in your 20s, you're thinking about other things. This is a good list. I wish I had this. You know, my girls have done very well, but this would have been a great thing to give them as they got their first job and were planning for the future.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Well, let's go ahead and dive in. So how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things here. So let's start with number one.
8 altogether. So the first one is, make your job mean more than just a paycheck. And the idea there is we want our clients' children and our clients to find ways to become invaluable at work by offering fresh ideas and growing relationships with colleagues and mentors right from the first day they start the job. By doing so, by investing in your work, you'll get so much more out of it in the long term. So it's not just a job, it's your future. And invest in that future by investing in your work. Don't just take a job to fill the day. Take a job that you can feel passionate about, that you can provide good ideas to, and that will give you something back in return, not just the pay. It'll give you an emotional boost. It'll give you something to look forward to every day. Because let's face it, when you're starting out at your first job, it's kind of daunting to think, hey, I might be working for 30 years. So put some effort into it. You'll get a lot more out of it that way.
Fantastic. Now, number 2 here is a reflection on what your worth is. And so I'm very interested in how you distill this one.
Well, number 2 is have the confidence to work out your worth. And what we're talking about here is negotiating your salary. And it's an important skill that you want to learn early because you're going to do that your whole entire life. And they put a statistic in this article. They said only 38% of millennials negotiated their salaries. And that's a mistake that could end up costing them millions or thousands of dollars throughout their career. So we ask our young clients to be bold, to do research, to find out what the market will bear at their position, okay, and go in and really have a plan. And again, you have to be your number one advocate because you're negotiating for you.
Gotcha. All right, number 3 has to do with a credit score. What does this mean?
Well, a lot of young people don't spend a lot of time thinking about their credit score. And again, they feel they don't have a lot of income. I'll get around to that later. But your credit score could be your best friend if you treat it right. And good habits such as paying your bills on time, keeping your card balances low, can help you get access to, in the future, perhaps better interest rates when you're ready to buy a house or buy a car or something like that. So if you're under 30, it's critical to avoid mistakes that could ruin your credit. So be smart. Don't be overextended. Live on a budget. Manage your finances. Think about the future. And if you do that, life is much better. I've been brought in to plan with some of our clients' children, and I can't believe they're in their first job, but they've got a credit card balance already, and they're continually trying to make up ground. So instead of trying to make up ground, let's start on the right path from day one.
And the next one here applies to that directly, right? So what's number 4?
The next one is splurges shouldn't be a regular thing. And it's pretty exciting to go out and go shopping and throw care to the wind, but you have to have a budget. You've got to build up at least 6 months of reserves in cash for emergencies and things like that. But if you go on too many splurges, you're going to eat away at that cash reserve, and it's going to end up costing you money on your credit card. Because let's face it, if you look at some of the interest rates on some of the introductory offers for young people, the interest rates on those cards are quite high.
Sure.
And you don't want to get caught in that trap. And I've seen it over the last 40 years. It's one of those things where people have a credit card bill and you look what's on it and they don't even own the stuff they charged anymore.
Wow.
They're still paying off stuff they don't even own anymore because they pay the minimum balance. They never seem to get ahead.
Sure.
So the key is don't get in the hole to start with.
All right. So what's number 5?
Well, we want to put retirement on the radar while you're young. Okay. We want to start with the end in mind. Okay. We tell our clients that they should be putting money into the retirement plan from day one on their first job. And what a difference that'll make just because of compound interest over time. As I've said before, a small amount of money over a long period of time will give you an explosion of value. So get in, stay in, and reinvest for the future.
That's fantastic. Well, one of the biggest investments that many younger people, especially people around the age of 30, does happen to be their wedding. So how do you attack that? Everybody wants to have the biggest and best wedding. How do you advise them on that?
You know, that's a tough one because the dream, every young person may have the dream of what their wedding would look like. But when you put dollars and cents into that dream, many times it changes it. And the wedding, while it's one day, could really slow down your economic progress for a number of years. So you have to be pretty pragmatic about it and have a budget-friendly wedding and try to make it work. Try to be efficient. I would say you don't want to put yourself in a jam and you don't want to put your parents in a jam trying to pay for that one-day party. So, think and plan, be resourceful, save money for your own wedding over a period of time. I always say don't get engaged today and get married tomorrow and expect to have a huge wedding. Take some time, do some planning, set money aside so it doesn't wreck your budget.
So a lot of these have to do with thinking a bigger picture, thinking a longer term. Number 7 is very fascinating to me because when you're talking about putting roots down, there's a lot of things that go into that. So what does roots down mean to Chip Coughlin? Okay,
well, putting roots down typically would mean buying a house and signing up for a mortgage. And that's the big question. When is the right time to buy a house? Do you have the down payment? We tell our young clients, you're not ready to buy a house till you have the down payment yourself. This isn't your parents buying you a house, it's you buying a house. So you have to save. And it could be a goal, a financial goal at the beginning of your career. Hey, I'd like to buy a house. And you have to answer the question, am I going to be around this area for a period of time? Or is my job going to move me around? Because you almost have to be in a house for about 3 years to break even on the hopeful appreciation in the value of the real estate to offset the expenses of closing on the real estate. If you're going to be a short-termer, rent is the way to go. But if you're going to put roots down and stay in that locale for a period of time, buying a house might make a lot of sense, but it has to fit in your budget. A lot of clients save just enough money to get in the front door of the house, and then they run into a financial snag because now they've got to buy furniture, and they've got to get the lawn cut or buy a lawnmower, and they've got to buy a lot of expenses that they didn't plan on. Saving just enough to get in the front door is not enough. You have to make it fit in your budget. And you have to be able to have some of that emergency fund that we talked about earlier, because there's always something that needs to be done to a house, even if it's brand new.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. I experienced that myself. All right, so let's talk about number 8, the last step, how to be financially stable by the time you turn 30.
Well, the last one is rebound from a dream that didn't go as planned. And many times in our 30s or in our late 20s, we'll see an opportunity either through a friend or a colleague where let's invest money in a startup. Let's invest in a restaurant. Let's invest in some real estate. Let's start a part-time business buying real estate or something like that. And many times, even though there's the best intentions on the front end, it doesn't go as planned. And at some point, you've got to say, listen, the best use of my time is working as hard as I can, furthering my career, spending time with my family, and not chasing down a lot of these loose ends. I think you got to prioritize your time, because time is, many times for a young person, time is their greatest asset. Prioritize your time and put the effort into areas that will benefit you. If something didn't go as planned, if the restaurant you and your buddies were going to start didn't go as planned, if the startup didn't take off, if buying and flipping houses just didn't seem like it was too much of a time commitment and not enough payoff, it's time to stop that. Focus on your career.
Well, anything else you'd like to add to this list of 8 things on how to be financially stable by the time you're 30?
I think it's important to do a plan. You can go online and get a budget. You've got to have a budget. You've got to allocate your resources correctly, plan for the future. And the plan is not something you do one time and put in the desk and never revisit again. The plan and the goals should be pulled out on an ongoing basis to not only reinforce what you're doing today, but also to think and plan for the future so that you can succeed. And again, everybody has goals. They could be educational goals, they could be job goals, they could be financial goals, they could be family goals, whatever. Everybody has goals. Write them down, because when you write them down, your chances of achieving the goal increase dramatically. And then revisit those goals on an ongoing basis to keep them front of mind so that you can draw on them to help you make value decisions. And the value decision is, I want a new car or I need a new car, okay? Wants and needs are 2 big things. So having your goals written down, having a plan, those things will help you make good decisions on a go-forward basis.
And with that, Chip, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, Matt. Thank you.
Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratos Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratos Wealth Partners and Retirement Income Analysts, LLC, are separate entities from LPL Financial. Content in this material is for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly.